Welcome all. Today, in Communicative English, we are going to see what is narrative writing, how to write the narrative essays. In this, narrative essays refers to essays that tell a story. By story, we do not always mean an imaginary one. When it comes to the story part, we always think our imagination, our creative, our innovative thinking. Not like that. We can narrate something that happened to us as a story, something which was happened in our life, some incidents happened in our life. We can explain to others as a narrative in the narrative format. That was called narrative essays. For example, I have an interested experience on my college for Freshers Day. So I can narrate this incident to my friends and I can write it down as an interesting narrative essays. It cannot be an essay or any short story. The person who are narrating their own life in first person, that was called as narrative essays. About narrative essays style. Narrative essays are almost always written from the first person point of view. Or narrative essay should be written in the first person. It means I understand, I would, I. It should be used I was sure. I went up feeling much more confident. I should be used that. I, me, my. These words indicates ourselves. So these words should be used in the narrative essay format. If you use the third person point of view, it means he, she, they, and etc. These words, the essay make the essay reads like a short story, and therefore it becomes a piece of creative writing than a narrative essay. Narrative essays, in the narrative essays, only you can use the first person, not the third person. If you use the third person, that will become a short story. Narrative essays or essays in which you narrate an incident that happened to you and that is important for you. And there are two ways given to start the narrative essay. The first one is you can begin by telling the readers the lesson you learned from the incident. You can start the incident by telling some moral, some proverbs, so that will be more interesting for the audience. And also could also begin an essay by asking a question, so that also gives more interesting to hear by the readers. That will be very interesting to hear also. And both dialogue and description are important in a narrative essay. There should be some dialogues between you and the other person in the narrative format, and also description also important. So if you given these ideas in that for the readers, they can imagine the events being described. They can before you are narrating the incident, they understood what are you going to tell to the readers. There are at least two ways in which you can develop a narrative essay. Narrate the events. The first one is narrate the events in the order in which they happen. You should narrate the incident by step. You should not mix it up. You should narrate it first this how this was happened and later it was happened, and you should say in a order wise. Second one, narrate an event as a flashback. That was you can narrate it as a flashback which was happened to you before earlier. By this, in this chapter, the part 3 narrative writing was over, and the next part is grammar part. I'm ending this narrative part by this. Thank you.